Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to run over all of the important launch details surrounding Battlefield 6 so that you guys can jump into the action and there's going to be absolutely nothing in your way. So we're going to be taking a look at things like preload times, launch times, file sizes to make sure you actually have enough hard drive room, and also some of the pre-order bonuses you're getting for pre-ordering the game early, but also for the Phantom Edition, which contains, of course, various XP boosts to allow you to unlock stuff in the game quicker. I also do want to touch on the big news from yesterday that EA was, of course, bought for $55 billion by private investment firms. Is this a good thing for the future? Maybe, but we'll talk about that more. As always, if you guys do enjoy the content here on the channel, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with everything surrounding Battlefield 6. There is going to be a whole lot more content to come once the game releases. And as always, thank you guys so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so first of all, you're going to want to make sure that you preload the game, especially if you've got kind of a shoddy, slow internet connection, and you can do that from the 3rd of October at 5 PM CEST or 8 AM Pacific time. So that is in just a few days' time, and nice to see EA actually giving us a full week here to preload the game and get in there as soon as it launches. As for the actual play times of the game, of course, it's releasing on October the 10th, and these are all the local times, courtesy of Battlefield Bulletin, who has put this tweet here together. I'm so thankful it's at a good time for me. I think for most of the East Coast, at least in Europe, it's sort of like in late-ish or early afternoon. For Pacific time, it's going to be a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, if you live in Australia, it's going to be very late at night or early in the morning, depending on how you want to look at it, but at least it's on a Friday night. So it's going to be a fun weekend. As always, I will be streaming here on the channel. So if you guys want to come and hang out with me, feel free to do so. Something else you should do though is go and update your graphics drivers if you are using an NVIDIA graphics card and you're playing on PC, because they have just released version 581.42, and it says here, release highlights. This new game-ready driver provides the best gaming experience for the latest new games supporting DLSS 4 technology, including Battlefield 6 and the latest update for FBC Firebreak. So if you recall from the beta, there were some issues where like a lot of the NVIDIA stuff like DLSS, multi-frame gen and stuff, that kind of all fell out for some reason at some point, and then they brought it back in again. So I think if you want that stuff to be working correctly, you definitely want to go and get this driver update here, especially if you want the best performance. Now, EA have also revealed what is going to be in the pre-order edition of Battlefield 6, which is called the Tombstone Pack, which you get basically just for pre-ordering the game, but also in the Phantom Edition. So for the Tombstone Pack here, this is the Gravedigger skin. It's a soldier skin. Then you get the Hatchet weapon package, you get the Bandolier weapon charm, this soldier patch here and the weapon sticker, Fallen Hero player cards, and then you get an XP boost set. As for the Phantom Edition, here we've got, of course, the Phantom Squad. There's a little bit of a better look at those 4 soldier skins. We've got the Battlefield Pro token, which is basically the Battle Pass plus 25 tier skips, exclusive unlocks and more. We've got the Shrouded weapon package, the Drop Shadow weapon package, the Chimera vehicle skin there for one of the tanks, and it says more. And a little bit more detail here from Battlefield Bulletin on exactly what XP boost we're getting. So for the Tombstone Pack, you get a 60-minute career XP boost and a 60-minute hardware XP boost. So as I thought there, one of them is probably going to be for like your overall level, the career one, and the hardware one will be, you know, for the tank that you're in or the weapon that you're using or whatever it may be. As for the Phantom Edition one, you get the same, but then you also get a 30-minute for both the career XP boost and for the hardware XP boost. So in total, 5 hours of 2 XP at launch if you pre-order the Phantom Edition. According to the Xbox Store, the Battlefield token from the Phantom Edition is only redeemable against the season of first play. So we might have to wait there for the first season to release before you can get that one. So overall, I don't think the Phantom Edition is actually like that great. Like if you really care about the skins, it's maybe worth to you spending the extra $30, or if you really want to like unlock stuff ASAP, but you still get some nice XP boosts just for pre-ordering the game, which I think is nice for those folks out there who, you know, do want to save a little bit of money. Now, as for the size of the game when you do preload, here we can see a snapshot from, this is the EA app, so this is on PC, and you can also see you can choose what you want to install. So you have to install the base game, of course. That is going to be 48.88 gigabytes. Then you can have a high definition resolution pack for multiplayer, which is 423 megabytes. Apparently then you have to add another extra 5 gigabytes just for multiplayer. Of course, you're going to want that. But then you can optionally add not just the single player, which is 15 gigs, but also the HD pack there. So if you have both of those, that's 22 gigabytes. Once you're done with the single player, you can presumably just like uninstall those and save yourself a bit of hard drive space. And even with the multiplayer, if for whatever reason you didn't want the HD texture resolutions and whatnot, you can save a whopping 423 megabytes. Not really sure if that one is worth it. I'm definitely going to be using like the highest graphics I can, but the option is there. Now, moving on to other news, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the trailer that EA put out at the weekend with Zac Efron and some other famous people who, in truth, I didn't really know who they were, but they all got blown up, so that was a massive W in my book. This was hilarious because I saw the trailer for this, and I think, like many of you, and comment down below if you found yourself in this situation, they totally trolled me with this trailer. I saw the teaser, and I was just like, oh my god, like what kind of cringe live-action trailer movie is this going to be? Like, are you kidding me, EA? This is so out of touch with the community. I completely bought into that, and I even retweeted it saying, like, holy cringe. I couldn't believe that they were going to bring this out. And then the whole trailer released, and of course, in spectacular fashion, they blew up the celebrities. They had Smashing Pumpkins in there, which was an absolute W in my book, and also, just epic Battlefield action. I think that was one of the best trailers I've ever seen EA make. It threw shade at Call of Duty. It just hit all the right spots. And I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, these rare Ws are coming out of EA all of a sudden. This is just almost unheard of. So, well done, EA. I will give you props on that one. You definitely got me. Now, I'm sure it won't have escaped many of you that yesterday we learnt that EA had been sold to PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners for $55 billion to go private. And if you're not familiar with any of those three companies, PIF stands for Public Investment Fund, and it is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. So obviously they're trying to do a lot of things these days to improve their public image. Then we have Silver Lake, which is another investment firm out of Silicon Valley. And then finally, we have Infinity Partners. And for those not aware, it was formed in 2021 by Jared Kushner, who is Donald Trump's son-in-law, who also served as a senior advisor during Trump's first presidency. So politics are starting to get into this a little bit. Whether that's a good thing to you or a bad thing, I guess that really remains to be seen. But in a new memo shared to its staff, EA CEO Andrew Wilson said companies' values will remain unchanged, as well as their commitment to players and fans around the world following sale to Saudi investment firms. So he says this moment is a recognition of your creativity, your innovation, and your passion. You have built some of the world's most iconic IP, created stories that have inspired global communities, and helped shape culture through interactive experiences. Everything we've achieved and everything that lies ahead is because of you. Our new partners bring deep experience across sports, gaming, and entertainment. They are committed with conviction to EA. They believe in our people, our leadership, and the long-term vision we are now building together. Our mission at EA to inspire the world to play continues to guide everything we do. Our values and our commitment to players and fans around the world remain unchanged. With continued rigor and operational excellence, we can amplify the creativity of our teams, accelerate innovation, and pursue transformative opportunities that position EA to lead the future of entertainment. Together, we'll create experiences that are bold, expressive, and deeply connected to inspire generations of players around the world. I am excited to continue as CEO, working alongside our leadership team to advance our strategy. United by our vision, we will deliver experiences that transcend platforms and empowers players everywhere to create worlds, characters, and stories that are bold, interactive, and deeply connected. So basically, he kind of came out and said, of course, what he felt like he had to say, I feel. Basically, things are going to continue forward as normal. There's no need to panic. This isn't going to be a big change for the way the company works. But of course he's going to say that, right? Because he's the CEO of EA. But is it, in fact, going to change? And is it going to have a detrimental effect. Well, Jason Schreier from the Financial Times, he had this to say: a lot of people are understandably focused on the Saudi Arabia and Kushner part of this. Of course, neither of those things have a lot of positivity around them, to be frank. But the far bigger immediate impact will come from the new private EA being on the hook for $20 billion in debt. That could mean mass layoffs, more aggressive monetization, and other big cost-cutting measures. Now, on the one hand, you have a situation where now the EA have gone private and they've just got these few companies who, essentially own them. They are no longer having to toe the line every few months and give out financial reports to all of their massive investors and sort of rationalize to them how they're going to make the money and why they should continue to invest in EA as a company. So, in a way, that sort of gets them, off the end of that fishing line. But on the other hand, they are now under the thumb of some incredibly influential large companies. And so, instantly, the main worries in my mind that come up is that obviously these companies aren't going to shell out all that money to invest in EA to not make money, right? That's why they're there. They're there to make money. And does that mean that they're just going to add in more aggressive monetization into all of their games at the expense of the goodwill of the community? Does it mean that Battlefield specifically is going to change? I don't think Battlefield 6 is going to change. I don't think it means we're going to get a bad game or anything. It's way too late in the lifespan of Battlefield 6 for that. But what about the next Battlefield game? So according to this report, and it's in the Financial Times, so we can't actually read it for ourselves because it's behind a paywall, the enhanced use of AI will be used as a way to also boost EA's profits in the coming years. This will allow the new owners to, quote, manage a large debt load on a company that historically carried limited net debt. So it sounds like their plan is kind of to offload a lot of the development cost of games on AI instead of actual people, which definitely worries me somewhat. I think it worries everybody, not just for the industry in a whole and job availability for developers, but just also for the quality of games. I think when it comes to AI art, when it first came along, it was quite impressive, but then the longer you stop and you look at it, it becomes less and less impressive. And of course, it's derivative of works from actual humans and things that people have made. So if they start doing the same thing with game development, I really think, at least at the moment and the way that AI works, you will see through that very, very quickly. Now, I don't think this is necessarily because of the merger. I think the industry in a whole is probably leaning into using AI a lot more. It kind of does seem like it's the future, and it's one of those things that is kind of coming whether you like it or not, the same way that the internet came, and now we can't, really imagine a world without it. Probably in 20 years' time, AI is going to be like that as well, and we know that things move at a tremendous speed in this day and age. And indeed, if you guys remember the EA Investors Day, we've already seen examples of them messing around with AI where they literally just had a dialog box pop up. You could type things into the AI hey, make me a level with, loads of boxes. And then you could just say, make the level bigger for me. And it made it bigger. Make it more epic. So you didn't have to be a developer anymore. You could just be somebody playing, essentially modding, quote unquote, a map or designing a map, but just doing it with the tools of AI. So it's clear that they were already kind of getting into this field before them going private even occurred. But yeah, needless to say, this does make me a little bit apprehensive about the future. I think we've always been apprehensive about EA's future and Battlefield's future anyway. So in that regard, I guess nothing's really changed. As always, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Always interested to hear your guys' takes on that. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed today's video or you found it informative. Subscribe to stay up to date with everything Battlefield 6, and I will see you all in the next one.